Salvete discipuli, quid agitis? How are you doing? I hope you are optime. So today we are starting fourth declension. Okay, so this is lesson 4 in your Henle book. So if you would turn to lesson 4, that's on page 56. And also go ahead and open your grammar book to number 65, which is on page 12. Okay, now fourth declension is called the U declension, and you are going to see why this is called the U declension. Okay, so I'll just write up here. Hopefully, my students, you are taking notes in your composition notebook. Okay, so when I write forms on the board and important things, that you are also writing those down in your composition notebook, so you have reference. The writing of things is really, really good. Okay, so I'll check up on that. Okay, so here we go, fourth declension. And before I start, I would like to say that most fourth declension nouns are masculine, okay? So I'm just going to put a little note here, 4DM. There are a couple that are feminine, there are a few that are neuter, but the majority of fourth declension nouns are going to be masculine. So our model, and this is a little tricky, so I'm kind of glad that this is our model, is this word. Okay, now in first declension, we had a word for gait that was porta, porte. Now we have portus, portus. Okay, this sounds more like this one, but I make a differentiation when I'm reciting it so that you remember that the nominative singular has no macron. So that's why I say portus, portus. Okay, so you can see U's right there. It's going to be the U declension. Okay, this word means harbor. Okay, so porta, porte, first declension means gate. Portus, portus means harbor. It's a fourth declension noun. Okay, so let's go ahead and decline it. So remember, we're going to have singular and plural. And you can always pause this video if you need to get your composition notebook going. So don't forget that. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. Okay, I'll make my lines go in here. Okay, so here we go. Remember, let's always take this one and we put it in the nominative singular, portus. Okay, we're going to take this one and put it in the genitive singular, portus. That U has a macron. Okay, now remember, to find the stem, we always drop off the genitive singular ending. So in this case, our stem is going to be port. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write my stem all these places, port, 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 and port. Okay, got that? Now we can add our fourth declension endings. And if you have your grammar book open, you will see those endings right there on number 65. Okay? So we already have us, us, then dative singular is ui, okay? And then portu. Oh, look at all those U's. Now we have another portus with a macron. This one's kind of funny. It's got 2 U's, W's. Portaum or portuum, okay? Then portibus, portus, another US with a macron, and then portibus, okay? So portus, portus, portui, portun, portu, portus, portuum, portibus, portus, portibus. Okay? So you can see now your fourth declension model. Okay, so in your textbook, you have a bunch more fourth declension nouns. You have adventus, adventus. Okay, you can think of advent with that one. Okay, arrival or coming. Equitatis, equitatus, cavalry. And the next one is army. Okay, exercitus, exercitus, army. Okay, so one of the things to keep these two words kind of straight in our minds, think about the Latin word for horse, which is equus. So if you're going to have the word for cavalry, it's always going to start with EQU. Okay, that, cavalry has horses in it. Okay, and so it starts with a word that would look like it's about to be horse. Okay, and so there's some more. So you need to memorize all these words. Okay, and they're all declined just like portus, portus. Okay, so read these notes. Make sure you're always reading your lesson. Super important. Take note of notes. Take note of notes. Ha ha ha. Okay, so the other thing I want to point out in this lesson is point number 2 on page 57, and this is a preposition in. Now we have already had the preposition in, and it governed the ablative case. Okay, well now in is going to also take the accusative case. So I want you to pause this video and I want you to read this section and then look at your new vocabulary on page 58 and then restart the video, and we're going to talk a little bit about in when it takes the accusative case. Okay, so pause it, read that, look at your vocab, and then come back. All right, now we're going to talk about prepositions. Okay, and I want to just do a review. It's always great to have some review time in our Latin study. We keep going back to things that we've learned before. Okay, so here I want to go back to prepositions. And I want to remind you that prepositions take two cases, the accusative case and the ablative case. Okay, most of the time they're on one side or the other and they don't float. Okay, so let's list the ones we know right now that don't float. Okay, that would be cum, okay, means with. And then over here we have post, after or behind. We have propter, on account of, okay? And now, we used to have in just over here in this side. But now what I like to do is I'm going to put it right in the middle like that. Because in will take either the ablative case or the accusative case. Okay, so in takes the ablative case when there's no motion. Okay, so I am in the house. I'm already there. I'm not doing anything to get there. I'm in the house. Okay, the soldiers are on the battle line. They're there already. So that then in would take the ablative case. But if there's motion, okay, then in is going to take the accusative case. For instance, I am walking into the house. Okay, and I could just say I'm walking in the house. I wouldn't have to say into. But if there's motion, then in is going to take the accusative case. And you're going to see this a lot with a sentence like this. They were making an attack against the enemy or upon the enemy or on the enemy. Okay, that word in, as you looked at the vocabulary, okay, in with the accusative case can mean in, on, onto, upon, and against. Okay, so we have all these new meanings now for in with the accusative case. Okay, so if we wanted to say I want to make sure we have all these words. I think we do. I think you're getting a bunch of these new words right now. Okay, yep, made. You're getting attack on this lesson. So I'm just going to, up here, you can see it. I'm going to put this sentence, hostes, okay, in HM. Oh, I better not use that word because you actually don't have that word till the next lesson. I'll use portam. Okay, that will work. Hostes in portam. This is a new word. Okay, that's you're getting in this lesson, impetum, and fecerat. So, if you notice, this in is taking the accusative case, okay? Because the enemy made an attack upon the gate, okay? And we could say the gate of the Romans, the gate of Rome. I don't know, But anyway, they made an attack on the gate. So if there's motion, okay, then you are going to put that in with the accusative case. Okay, so now I would like you, okay, to do your exercises that go along with lesson 4. Okay, and please though, I wanna remind you to learn the words before you start your exercises. So maybe do Quizlet right now. Okay, let's say you're going to go to lesson 4 and do Quizlet for 10 minutes, then work on your exercises so those new words are fresh in your mind. And I don't want you to forget to go back and review your old Quizlet lessons every week at least one time, just to keep those words fresh in your mind also. So you're going to go ahead and do the exercises for me that correspond with lesson 4, and then come back and we will talk about fifth declension. All right. Valete discipuli.